how's it going, bros? Finally, I can make this Q&A now. So, welcome to this Q&A. It was supposed to be uploaded last week, but unfortunately, I did not have time. I was extremely busy that weekend, so I did not have time. But this time, I do have time. So, now I will be able to record. And now that I look at this camera, I now realize it says how many minutes I am recording. I did not know that. You learn something new every day. Okay, so thank you for everybody's questions. I got over 20 questions, which is absolutely amazing. Well, 20 responses, but have multiple questions in them, so I might have to make a part 2. I don't know. But I'm definitely not feeling that well, so I might go a little bit slower than usual. So bear with me here. I'm going to try to answer all your questions in depth as I can get them to be. And I know that some of them are repeats, which is, it's perfectly fine. I was actually going to write them all down and then, mark them if they are a repeat, but there were just so many questions. I was like, this is gonna waste more time. So if I realize that it's a repeat, I'm sorry that it's a repeat. I might be repeating myself, but that's all right. Okay, so let's get started with the first question. Princess Peach for show. By the way, disclaimer, I might pronounce your name wrong or username wrong. I'm technically not that bad at pronouncing names, but sometimes I stutter and slur my words, so apologies. So Princess Peach for show asked, do you have any OCs? If so, how many, and which one is your favorite and why? I don't really have that many OCs personally. I used to when I was a kid, but I don't technically assume that they're my OCs. I just draw characters and what have you. But I do have some OCs that I do consider original characters, and I do draw them quite often. I have the Princess Maria, which sometimes you've seen in sketchbooks. I have older OCs like Rex, Belrock, and Antoinette, whatever. Those are really Mary Sue's, so I don't care about those anymore. But maybe my favorite has to be I don't have a name for her, but it's the girl and the shark. She's my favorite because I have a personal connection because I love my stuffed animals and I used to play with my stuffed animals a lot. So that OC kind of resides with my childhood. So that's why I like that OC more than other OCs. I'll probably put a picture of her up in case you do not know what I'm talking about. So, next question. Anime Freak 595 asks, why do you love Spamano so much? I've gotten this question a lot, and honestly, it's just whenever I see it, it kind of gives me this tingly feeling. Sorry, that's really weird to say, but it's just whenever I see pictures of it, it's you can see the love. You can see that there is a relationship. They have a backstory. They are so in love. It's not like when I see US UK or Gurita, it's kind of oh, it's just a picture. I don't really get that feeling oh, you can tell they're in love. It looks like more of a friendship. But with Spamano, it looks like a boyfriend-boyfriend relationship, which when I first saw it, I was like, wow, these two are really in love. And so and then I started drawing it, and then I kept drawing it and drawing it and drawing it because I wanted to I wanted to spread that love too. So that's why I love Spamano so much. It's just amazing. One of my favorite pairings ever. Scar Xlet asks, what is my favorite pairing next to Spamano? That's really hard because I don't really have a favorite pairing next to Spamano. Hold on, let me think. Lithuania and Poland has to be up there because it was my first pairing. It was my very first Hetalia pairing, and I didn't draw them, and I know I was extremely in love with them. So that has to be up there, but my favorite pairing next to Spamano has to be... I'm thinking... You know, if I have to think, I guess there's not really a favorite. I'm really trying to think right now. Maybe France and England. That's pretty cute. I don't really have a favorite pairing. All I think is like Spamano. That's it. I can't think of anything else. Like that's all my life is surrounded with is Spamano. I don't have a favorite pairing because that is the ultimate favorite pairing. So if it's gonna be like a favorite pairing, it will be like outside Hetalia, kind of like I like Elsa and Jack Frost, and I like Kristoff and Anna, and I like Tamaki and Haruhi from Oran High School Host Club. I like you know, all those. But I don't technically have a favorite next to Spamano. Spamano is just kind of my life. I don't really think about, you know, other pairings like that. So Queen Mimi 011 asked, how long has it taken you to get to the artistic level you are on now? And when did you first see Hetalia, and what did you think of it then? Oh, what did you think of them, or what did you think of it then? So, how long has it taken me to get to that? I honestly started when I was really little. Like, as soon as I could get a pencil on my hand, I started. Oh, excuse you. So, sorry, my dog. Snowball. Are you good? Are you good, Snowball? I think she has hiccups. Okay. Are you eating the cat food? She has hiccups. Okay, just ignore. What was I saying? Oh yeah, artistic level. I started with when I was a tiny little child, and then I didn't really take it seriously till I was in, well, I didn't really start drawing a lot till I was in the 1st grade, and then I didn't really start taking it really seriously until I was like in 6th or 7th grade. So if you do the math, I know I've answered the question before, but then I had to do the math. I don't really want to do math now. So I usually say like 5 or 7 years, depending on how you see it. So yeah, I think it was 5 or 7 years I said, or 10. No, I'm 17. Oh, whatever. I can't do the math right now. So if you can do the math, then that's how many years it's taken. It has definitely taken a long time. I've drawn every single day of my life, so that's how long it's taken. And when did you first see Hetalia, and what did you think of it then? I first saw Hetalia when I was in the 7th, like it was like the end of my 7th grade year, and I got home and I was like, I want to watch something funny, a funny anime for a change. And I was going through Netflix and I saw the Hetalia series, and I was like, okay, sorry, apologies for that. The camera got full and then I had to, yeah, you know how that works. Okay, where was I? Oh yeah, Netflix. Okay, so Netflix. I went on Netflix, I saw Hetalia, And I was watching it, and I thought it was literally the best idea ever until it ended 5 minutes later. And I was like, what just happened? Is it seriously 5 minutes? I was so confused. Yeah, apparently the episodes are 5 minutes long. Don't know why they do that. I kind of wish they didn't do that, because then you gotta go back and then you go press another video and then you gotta do all this and just make it 30 minutes long. Just cramp all the videos together. Okay, so that I thought it was a little bit short, but I really, really did like it, and I watched the whole season in one day. Yes, so that's when I first saw Hetalia, and that's what I thought of it then. Uma Hakuba asks, what do your parents think about your passion? How do you feel now that you now have bros in Europe? I'm from France. And when is your birthday? What my parents think? Well, my parents are actually very supportive of my art. They get excited when I get accepted into art shows, and I do these contests, and they desperately look for contests for me to enter. My dad has this contest at work that he always wants me to enter, and he gets excited when I win something. And then they're taking me to all these art colleges and looking around and all that jazz. So they certainly do think I can really go big, and I really do appreciate that my parents do support me a lot, because I do know that some artists' parents don't really support them. So I am definitely really, really lucky that I do have supportive parents. The Spamano passion, on the flip side, they're kind of like, ooh, about that. I know a long time ago, they weren't really supportive of that, and I did stop drawing Spamano for a while because of that, but I was like, screw it, this is what I love to do, I'm gonna do it. So I decided to do that, and they were like, well, if you want to do it and it makes you happy, then just go do it, we don't care. So yeah, they're still a little bit sketchy about that, but overall they are very supportive of me. And what do you feel now that you have bros in Europe? I am so excited that I have bros all around the world, not just Europe, but all around the world, because I am a very cultural person. I love learning about different cultures, and I would love to travel the world one day, in my life. So I guess this is kind of like a glimpse of what it's like in other places, and it's like a long distance relationship between me and my bros. And I have bros in Spain, which I've always wanted to go. I have people in Puerto Rico, which is my mom's hometown, and I'm half Puerto Rican, and we kind of, click a little bit. So it's kind of awesome to see, people that are just like you, but they're just in another part of the world. And my birthday is December 25th. Yes, it's Christmas. I know, I get that a lot. Next question, Ice Queen X128 asks, can you talk a little bit about your technique with color pencils, shading, and blending and whatnot? That's a weak spot of mine, and your pieces tend to look really good. So whenever I use colored pencils, it's usually with Prismacolor pencils, and honestly, I am extremely not a big fan of colored pencils just in general. I hate using colored pencils. I don't like the sketchy texture it gives. I like flat, and I like it even. So I really don't use colored pencils that much. If I'm gonna use colored pencils, it means that I think it would be good for that particular piece. So with like the Pinocchio, I had to use color pencils because color pencils would look really good with the wood texture. So the techniques with Prisma will literally be the only thing I use ever. I personally don't have Prisma color pencils. I just borrow them from school. So whatever techniques I've gotten, it was always been taught to me through school. So I usually start off with the lightest color, and I'll use that as the base, and I'll like layer the color with more darker shades. And then once that's done, I'll take the colorless blender and I'll blend all of it till it's smooth and even, and there are no spots, no white spots, no nothing, and it takes a really long time and it hurts your hand. So that's definitely my technique with color pencils. Shading, yeah, if you're gonna use color pencils, I definitely recommend you use a colorless blender. That thing works miracles. Seriously, it will get the blending so smooth. And yes, that's my technique with color pencils. And what are your post high school plans? Well, my post high school plans, I'm planning to get into an art college after high school. That's definitely my goal. Do you have any colleges in particular you're interested in? Well, I do. I haven't applied to anything yet because I still haven't taken my SAT, which is really bad. But so I'm looking at SVA, which is my number one pick. I'm really hoping I can get into that school. SVA is in New York. SCAD, the Savannah College of Art and Design, which is in Savannah and also Atlanta and Hong Kong, and they scattered themselves a little bit. And obviously the Chicago Art Institute. And those are my top 3 picks, but I do have like backups. Like if all else fails, these are the schools I'm considering. I'm considering Cal Arts, which is in California, Full Sail University, which is in Florida, and if all else fails, I'm gonna have to stay in the Indiana state, so I'll have to either go to the Art Institute of Indianapolis or Purdue or Wesleyan University. Don't really want to stay in my state. I honestly do not want to stay in my state. I want to move somewhere else where the opportunities are there. So yeah, I am kind of really getting excited and anxious. I'm in the midst of reply receiving phase, and damn, it's also it really is exhausting. Like, I've been trying to, like, you get all these letters in the mail, you gotta fill them out and with your all name, and then you put them in the thing, and then once you get them back, it's like a hurricane of mail, and it's like, oh my god. And then, how did you first get into Hetalia? I've already answered that. And specifically Spamano. I think I already answered that. Maybe I can get it more in depth in that. I specifically got into Spamano when I started following this artist. She was a Spamano artist. She drew Spamano quite frequently, and she was honestly a really big Spamano artist, and everybody knew her. Unfortunately, she doesn't do that anymore, unfortunately. So I definitely did look up to her a lot, and she really did get me into Spamano, like had me draw it, and I still draw it to this day. So I definitely give props to